In Baldur's Gate 3, not only can you pet a dog, you can pet an owlbear. Not only that, you can pet both of them at the same time. And I'm gonna show you how to do that, because this game is fucking awesome. You have two hands for a reason. This is true, but also the name of the achievement that you get for petting both Scratch and the Owlbear Cub at the same time. You'll of course need to put in some work finding these two new pets and working on making them come to your camp and stick around. This'll all start in Act 1 in the first area. I'll pop up the coordinates for these two up on the screen as we're working on picking each of them up. On the way to the blighted village, you'll find a dog standing over a dead body. Interact with him, and if you can speak with animals, you'll have a quick little conversation where he tells you to keep moving, but you can use a persuasion option to convince him that you're friendly. And if you cannot speak to animals, just be nice and don't do anything too aggressive to let him sniff you and he'll follow you back. But back to talking to the dog, be nice and just let him know that his friend won't be getting up, and then that he can just come find you at your camp if his friend doesn't wake up. You just want to be sure not to use any aggressive options here either, as that's going to spook him and cause him to run. Then after a day or two, you'll have Scratch show up and he'll be your new best friend. Then you can pet him to your heart's delight. But we do have one more puzzle piece to put together to get this achievement, and this one is a little bit more complicated. The Owlbear Cub can be found in a cave northeast of the blighted village, but before we go there, it would be helpful to take a stop a bit down the road where you'll find a body on the ground and two people standing over it. You'll talk to them to find out that you're a true soul, and you can convince them to go with you to that owlbear cave where it mauled the person laying on the ground. Then we can head over to the Owlbear Cave and you can attempt to interact with the owlbear mother. You can try a few dice checks to see if you can be friendly with her, but chances are you'll end up getting into a fight with her. Since we brought those other two people with us, we'll have a much better chance at surviving that fight. Just make sure that you don't kill the cub, and after the fight, don't kill it when it starts eating its mother. I know, gross, but we have to let it do what it's gotta do. Now, you can leave the cave and go about your day. We'll see the cub again a little bit later on. So, over to the west of the blighted village, you can head over to the goblin camp as long as you pass the speech check to get in. Once in the camp, you'll find a group of goblins chasing an owlbear cub. If it's not here yet, you may need to take a long rest or two, and then eventually it should show up, as long as you didn't kill it before. Talk to the goblin Krolla, and they'll explain their little chicken chasing game. Go ahead and do that, and talk to the owlbear cub while you're chasing it, to either be friendly and nice to him so that he can smell you and come back to your camp later, or if you can speak to him, tell him that you have a camp and that he's welcome there. He's not going to want to leave until after the goblins are dealt with though. So now we do have a choice. We can fight all of the goblins to get the owlbear freed, or we can talk to Krolla after the chase and tell her that you're leaving and the owlbear is coming with you. You'll then have a few speech options you can try to pass, bribe her, or of course just go back to fighting and fight the goblins. Now, however you do it, once they're dealt with, the owlbear will be free, and you can go about your business. Then, a couple of long rests later on, you're gonna have a scene play out where the owlbear comes up to you in your camp. You can do an animal handling check here and make sure that you pass that. Then you can choose any non-violent choices and just make sure that you pass any of the checks that you do. And one of your followers will likely interrupt you, but don't worry. The owlbear will return the next night as well. But this time he's going to be injured. So go ahead and go through the options to heal him and make sure you pass the checks needed there. And after that, he'll be your new pet. And now that we have both of these animals with us, we should be able to pet both of them, right? Well, actually, this achievement is going to require a very specific scene where you do this. So now you're going to have to long rest another 2 times and you'll get this new scene where you hear a noise and you can go investigate it. The Owlbear Cub and Scratch will be seen laying down and you'll need to call to them. Then you can pet each one of them, and as you pet the second one, you'll get this achievement. Now, if you stuck around this far, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what other Baldur's Gate 3 guides you'd like to see. And if you want to support the channel even more, you can hit the join button to become a member, or join our Patreon that's linked down in the description.